Alright class, I'm going to walk through one of the options we have as far as at-home animation software here. So I have krita, K-R-I-T-A, pulled up, krita.org. Here you can download a Windows version since I'm using my home computer. That's what I would be doing. If you go to the Windows or Steam Store versions, these are paid for $10, and that's just to support the developer, but you can download it for free from one of these builds. So I'll go ahead and do that. You can donate to krita if you like it as well. Now, while that is downloading here, I'll show you another option I was looking at. Pencil 2D. It's another free option. This is open source. So for this one, this is open source as well. I have a tutorial I put on Classroom that you can check out to see if you like it. So here you can see how it looks. Tools are sort of like so this might be more familiar. And download's running slow for some reason here, so hopefully it should be done in just a minute. There's also a piece of software called K3D, this free 3D modeling and drawing. So that might be something you're into. But I still think Blender is a better option. This is simpler, but Blender is probably more powerful in the end. You can see here some of the stuff that can be made with the K3D, and it does 2D animation too. Okay, so I'll do the setup here. I just put in a new SSD drive, so hopefully it will run fast, but we'll see. Okay, let's fire it up and take a look at it. I'm using my second display here to capture, so I have to pull some of the stuff over to the second screen, so bear with me here. Right now it's loading on the other screen. So I'll try a new file here. Now, I haven't really checked out how to use this, but a lot of these programs work somewhat alike. So I'll start with US letter paper here. 300 pixels per inch is my resolution, which would be suitable for print. You could probably get away with 150 if it's going to be used on monitors. I want alpha channel in case there's transparency. The rest of this looks good. Now there's animation templates here too. We'll just start with drawing something. Now you can start with the background color, and if you want transparency, you can have this down to more transparent, but I figure I'll draw backgrounds here. Then we can choose it as fill layer or as an overall canvas color, etc. Let's name this test, hit create. Okay. So it looks like we have reflection options, size, opacity. I'm guessing that I can resize my canvas and rotate it and stuff here. You can link those two together to keep your aspect ratio. So we got shapes, text, or traditional brushes, Bezier tools, kind of like Illustrator. Gradients, eyedropper, polarize. So it looks like some pretty standard fare here. Let's try a brush. See what options I have for it here. I'm thinking I might want to start with painting, then move to animation. Actually, let's just jump right to animation, see what happens. Okay, so I see I've got a layer of transparency and background. So for the background, I might as well just draw in something that I want to be behind the scenes, and for now I'll make something static, and then later on I can work on something moving as far as the background itself. I can see down here we have what I'm guessing are the animation options. So I see things like hue saturation, lightness, hue saturation, vibrance, stuff like that. So we have some different color modes to work with here. Modulus, or modulus I'm used for programming, that means the remainder of a fraction. So I'm not sure how that works in brush. That looks interesting. Then we have our typical Photoshop blend modes here. So this is definitely blend mode stuff for the brush. Eraser here. Looks like a transparency lock. Our opacity and our size. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn on. I have a little hand controller for my brushes I use in Photoshop, so I'm going to try that out, see how it works. Looks like I have to unlock my background layer to work on it here, so I unlocked it so I don't get a lock icon. Well, alright, my Wacom controller here does work for the brush size, which is handy. Alright, let's see what we can do. Looks like we have pattern for either the paper or art supplies. Gradients. Here's my brush stuff. Now on mine, I like running stuff using the pressure sensitivity, so I want to make sure that is on here. Eraser switches size, that's a handy checkbox right there, because sometimes if you have a big brush and you switch to eraser, it'll be reset to a small size, so I like having it be the same size. I'm going to turn that on. And you can have the eraser reset reset opacity there. Switch between them. So this is indeed tracking. You can see here, tracking my pressure already. So I don't have to do anything super fancy there. We can do spacing, like if you're doing something that was kind of like an airbrush or something like that. It looks like my spacing, the harder I press with that on, the more it'll space in which direction. Let's see. Photoshop has spacing too. Oh, scattering. So that also, that's sort of more of what I meant when I said airbrush, right? It was the scattering. And you can see it's scattering by pressure, so that's working fine. I'm going to turn that off for this brush though. Let's go ahead and let's see. I kind of want to cancel this without changing anything. So my options are override it or save a new brush. And I'm guessing I can probably just click here to get rid of it. Maybe. Okay. So let's see what we can do. I wonder if I have a pull-out color palette. Actually, I'm going to switch back to big paint while I'm doing this part because, yep, I have a triangle in the corner here. So let's work on that. I wonder if I can control opacity by pressure. I'm betting I can. Oh, there's our presets. Cool. That's kind of what I was hoping for here. Trying to think of what kind of background I want here. Maybe something dusty. Now it is following the tilt of my brush, or the direction I drag. You can see the cursor following it. This is pretty fun to draw so far. I'm liking it. Works pretty snappy with my hardware here. I'm thinking kind of like a Badlands rock scene here. It's nice blending. Thinking about some underhangs and stuff here, and those Badlands type rocks. Then I'll try my eyedropper here to grab this color and switch back to my brush. I'm guessing I can hit B for brush, and that does in fact work, like in most other software of this type. The dabbing seems to work well on it. Never be scared to look for some visual research here. So Let's check out the Badlands. Alright, so that right there, that's kind of a cool rock formation. Alright, so we can take a little bit of, and I'm thinking more sunset too. That one's pretty accurate there. Notice we have a lot of contrast and bright sunny colors. I'm gonna Command Z that, and looks like that works pretty good for the default undo, kind of like Photoshop and everything else. Maybe some clouds and stuff up here. Okay, so we can add some blue. We can see like here, there's those afternoon colors kind of down on the base. Well, I'm thinking more of a sky like this. So it's mostly purples and oranges. I say purple is lower in the sky, orange is higher. So let's shoot for that type of look. Now I'm going to try something here, just to experiment with the layers a little bit. So let's try jumping to our layer up here and painting in our purples here. Now you could use a gradient for this too, since it's basically a gradient, but this way I can switch to the eraser and see how that works. Oops, went a little too far there. I should probably be using a circle, but I feel experimental. Just so I can take purple off just that one layer. First instead, I probably should have more contrasty colors for the rocks themselves. So I'm going to switch back here. It's almost like a dark purplish blue. Let's see if we can get that effect. Try my opacity a little bit. That might be a little bit too much. Let's keep that low so I can blend it a little bit better. And actually, I think I want to put this on maybe another layer so I have a bit more control over it. So let's try a plus here. Yep, we'll add a new layer using this. I'm going to add more blue to that too because it needs to be more blue, I feel like. This way I can experiment with the layer. I know this looks kind of too blue, but I'm going to use the layer, experiment with it a little bit, see what I can come up with. Alright, let's try some layer options here. So if I double click it, it'll let me rename it. Let's try. I'm going to right click it. We have some interesting options in here. Okay, my blending modes are up here. Burn, it's going to make it a color burn. And then I can mess around with the opacity a little bit. Right here. So it's like Photoshop in that respect. And try like a color burn too, a color dodge. So this lets you experiment with blending colors, which is pretty cool. Overlay gives it some contrast. Kind of dig that. I think I'll stick with that for now. So let's say that's my background. I might want to, in that case, flatten these layers since I know they're good to go. Now if you want to change them later, you wouldn't want to flatten them. But in this case, so I'm right clicking and doing flatten layer. Let's try holding shift and selecting all these and then seeing if flatten layer will work that way. In Photoshop, flatten will actually flatten all of them. Okay, sweet. Did just what I wanted. Good, good. Alright, let's try switch our workspace back to animation then. So window, workspace, animation. We have this on a layer. Let's try making a new layer here. Now it looks like we're on frame 0, so it's going 0 to 100. Okay, let's just try drawing a simple character on this one layer here. I have my opacity at 50, but it's such a pressure because I want a bit of a gestural look. So let's say maybe I want something falling out of the sky, far off. Ooh, it looks like I have onion skin too. Let's see. Try erasing this. Oh, so my onion skins are actually on the other page. Let me move them over here so we can see them. Okay. So I can tell how far forward they go and how opaque they are, I'm thinking here. Okay. Let's go back one frame. I'm wondering if I have to change something here to record. Oh, so we can add duplicate frame, or remove keyframe without moving anything around it, or add a blank keyframe. Oh, I switched my opacity to 0 somehow. Must have hit a shortcut key. I'm guessing auto frame mode will automatically make keyframes. Let's see, drop frames. Let's try a selection tool here. Oh, you know what? I think I am not making keyframes here, so let's try hitting maybe I. I'm going to right click there because I don't know the shortcut key off the top of my head. Yeah, keyframes, insert keyframe, insert. Yeah, let's do a skid check real quick, make sure I'm doing this right. So we can do opacity keyframes. So it does no tweening. You can do frame by frame. Okay, so I'm in an animation workspace. So environment and top lock cycle. So right click, new frame. Everything's skimming works basically like we'd expect. Okay, so up there, kind of as I figured, that's whether or not they're there, and this is how transparent they are, the higher they are. Or I mean more opaque, they're more transparent as they get lower. So it kind of spreads out from the frame mirror in both directions. Just like animate, this makes them more invisible the further they are from the current frame. Alright, well it looks like this has some potential. I'm going to experiment with it a bit more, and I'll do another video here soon if I think it's going to work for what we need. But in the meantime, even if you use it just as a drawing tool, it looks like it's got some good potential, especially if you have access to a pressure-sensitive pen. If not, I'm going to try drawing with the mouse here. It's going to work basically how you would think it would work, where you have to, oops, B for brush, change your, oops, I have to go to select, deselect. Control Shift A, so that's different from Photoshop. I'll have to get used to some of these. Alright, so I'll just try drawing like this with the mouse itself. So you're not going to have some of those nice effects automatically done with you by pressure sensitivity. You'd have to go in and alter the opacity yourself. But that's totally doable if you don't care as much about having that hand-drawn look. So drawing with a mouse isn't always, you know, my favorite thing. I definitely always prefer a pen, but it works. Alright, well, I'll update with the video soon once I try the animation a bit.